I'm going to start a chicken dish for you. And to do it, we begin with spinaci. That's spinach in Italian. And I'm going to cook fresh spinach in a dry skillet. Spinach that I've just washed and left with just the water clinging to its leaves. I have about 20 ounces or two 10-ounce packages of spinach. And in it goes, just like that, dry. And I just want to wilt this down. Cut the chicken in half, like that. See? Now you want to get those an even thickness so that they'll cook evenly. And for that, I like to use a meat pounder. This is my weighted meat pounder that I bought in Italy. And all I do is go over the meat like this. I'm going to cut this little piece off right here because I don't want that piece of fat there. And yes, it is ready. So now we're going to take this over and drain it. And you want to drain this in a colander. And you see how nicely that comes out without having to use any excess water. Get that all in. And because you didn't use any excess water, you can now just press out the excess liquid, which shouldn't be too much. We want to let this spinach cool down a little bit, and then we're going to chop it up. You see how beautifully it stayed green. And now, just want to cut this up coarsely, you see? This is going to be the filling for our chicken breasts. So just coarsely chopped, like that. And that goes in with fontina cheese. Now, fontina cheese is a cheese that comes from the Val d'Aosta in northern Italy. And it is a cheese, it's a wonderful melting cheese, and so it goes well in a lot of recipes where you need a sauce or you want a cheese that is going to melt in a filling very quickly. So that goes in, and then we want to add some nutmeg, here we go, to this. And now we need to add some onions to this. And all I did was take an onion and a little bit of garlic and sauteed it, or cooked it in a little bit of olive oil. That's going to give a nice flavor to this with the nutmeg. You know, nutmeg and spinach have a wonderful affinity for each other, and it is used a lot in northern Italian cooking. So now all you do is mix up all of those filling ingredients, take a little bit of that mixture, and you put it right over the chicken, just like that. Press it down some, so it's going to be easy for you to roll, you see? And then you bring the chicken breast up on itself, keeping the filling inside, like that. If anything falls out, you just stuff it back in. Then you get some butcher's string, and you tie the chicken in several places. If you didn't want to use string, of course, you could use a toothpicks for this, but I like to use string because when you're browning the chicken pieces, it's kind of hard to turn with the toothpick. So this is my preferred method of doing it. Now, once it is tied like that, well then, first I got to wash my hands. Remember, when you deal with raw meat, you always wash your hands. Okay, then you brown those chicken pieces, and here are mine right here that I've started a little earlier. And now I want to take those out. Actually, brown and cook. These are now cooked. So you take them out and put them on a beautiful dish. See how wonderful they look? And now to the drippings in the pan, we are going to add some butter. Oh, about 4 tablespoons of butter. And I like to use those drippings because that's going to give a little enhanced flavor to the sauce that I'm now going to make. So get the butter melted. Now with this, I want to have some flour because I'm going to be making a roux. And when the butter is melted, I'm going to add my flour to this. And I want to make a paste so that I'm going to be able to thicken the other liquids that I'm putting in with this. And you know what that's going to be. White wine for chicken, and we're going to be using some homemade chicken broth, and then giving this just a little finish of freshly squeezed lemon juice. So now my flour goes in, and really when you make a roux like this, you want to make sure that you cook the flour in the butter, or if you're using olive oil, for at least a minute. You want to make sure that that flour is cooked so that you don't have a floury taste to your sauce. Now that's looking pretty nice and smooth. So now we can add our chicken broth and our dry white wine. Okay, I think this sauce is just about where I want it. So now I'm going to add the lemon juice, get that in, and let me show you. I'll take out my whisk now. I don't want this too thick. Do you see how beautiful that is? And you could actually make that ahead. If you wanted to do the chicken ahead, put it in the refrigerator and then make the sauce just before you were ready to serve it. But look at that.